Hey guys, this is Benji from Legacy Invaders. Coming at you with another deck profile, and this deck came about from two different things, and I'll discuss them both now. First, I played a duel online against someone playing Dark World, and I lost. And I was playing Infernoid, so that's not really a matchup where you should really lose. But I drew kind of ass, but he was doing pretty good with his draws. But the other thing that came to mind was something I remembered from an old video from Mega Capital G, and I'm actually going to link that in the description box below on how to play Dark Worlds properly. And that's where this comes from. The idea was to apply some of that idea to DDDs. So I'm calling this DDD is for Dark World. And I've been playing around with different versions. This is the version I'm using right now. I mean, originally it was 60 cards, which a lot of my decks start out that way, and then it went to a more of mixed Dark World DDD engine, and then I kind of just settled for a DDD deck with some very key ideas in it. So let's run through the deck profile. I have two Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok. What a name. One Thomas, one Leonidas, three Trance Archfiend. And now this is the monster that is the reason that I made this deck. The idea is that you banish a lot of your cards, and you can just add them back to your hand with Trance Archfiend. And he's a decent monster. He's a good discard outlet. So if you get stuck with like the Necro Slime in your hand, you can pitch it and get some points for it. I was trying to use Dark Worlds in this, but I don't know. It's just slow, and it's not even. I don't know. It can't keep up. But Trance Archfiend is the reason I made this deck. If you don't know what he does, he discards a card from your hand and gains 500 attack points. That's it. And if he dies from the field, if he's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add a banished dark card from your hand back to your hand. So that could be anything. That could be Tour Guide. You can play Tour Guide more than once in a duel. Not that most DDDs play Tour Guide, but this build does. Then I play three Fiendish Rhino Warrior. And that's because if Fiendish Rhino Warrior is on the field, he protects all your monsters. Additionally, if he should die, you can send whatever you need to the graveyard. So if you want to get Trance Archfiend, you can actually send Archfiend Eris, which I play two. Play one Tour Guide. So yeah, you can send Archfiend Eris. You can send Scarm if you want to search Tour Guide. You can send Fiendish Rhino. Fiendish Rhino Warrior is sending cards. So you can send the appropriate slime you need in the graveyard. There's a bunch of things you can send to the graveyard. With Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and he's defensive, and he's a summonable monster off Tour Guide. And again, because of the way the deck is built, you could actually play Tour Guide more than once. Play one Scarm, and Scarm's really only going to get summoned off Tour Guide. If Scarm comes up at any other point, you can just set it, and it'll defend. You could still search Tour Guide, you can search Eris, you can search other cards in the deck. There's one Eccentric, because Eris can also search Eccentric, which means you have a good way to search a scale, a pretty good way to search a 7 scale. Now this deck isn't going to Pendulum Summon much, because I actually don't play a lot of low scales. Really, there's only one low scale in the deck, and that is Leonidas. Otherwise, the scales are pretty big, but you can sort of Pendulum Summon with Ragnarok. I'm playing 1 Max C. I believe in a 40 card deck, 1 Max C is the way to go, unless you know what you're playing against, so I put the other two in the side deck. The good thing about only playing 1 Max C and most floodgates is that you won't draw into duplicates. And having duplicates and overdrawing side deck type cards is always bad for a duel. So unless you're in a format where you know everybody's special summoning every 3 seconds, I mean Max C at 1 is perfect. Playing 3 DD Swirl Slime, because Swirl Slime gets the deck going. Lets you fusion summon by discarding any other DD card. Preferably it would be Necro Slime. You can also banish it from your graveyard to special summon a DD monster in your hand. I mostly use that to summon Kepler in defense, because Kepler is a massive hole which your opponent can just go right through and attack and deal you a ton of damage. And since your spell cards deal damage to you, that's a very dangerous proposition there. I'm playing 2 Necro Slimes, because if you can't get it in the graveyard, you can't use it anyway, so as good as it is, playing 3 just took up more space, and I was trying to get a 40 card deck for a change, because most of my decks have actually been more than 40. I'm actually playing 3 Savant Kepler. Kepler is the best one, he searches whatever you need. I'm playing 2 copies of Allure of Darkness, and as another benefit for this deck, you can replenish cards that get banished. So banishing a card isn't like the worst thing in the world. Um, then we got 1 for 1. Additional ways to get Kepler in defense rather than just summoning him in attack position and leaving yourself wide open. Playing 1 Terraforming. Terraforming's in there for Gateway to Dark World, which I'll get to in just a second. Play 1 Foolish Burial. Same thing as Fiendish Rhino Warrior. You can put whatever monster in the deck you want in the graveyard, since everything's a Fiend except for Maxi. Playing 2 Twin Twisters. I find that Twin Twister is just like one of the best cards in the format currently, so not playing is just silly. Playing 1 Burial from a different dimension because reusing your fusion monsters is useful. And I have thought about what happens when you run out of fusions because there's really only so many you'll make. I accounted for that in the build, but I honestly thought the card was searchable, but it isn't, but I'll get to that. I play 3 Dark Contract with the Gate, which really is the only card you need to open with or want to open with, and which is what Kepler's for. Once you have this, everything else doesn't really matter that much. If you already have Dark Contract with the Gate, you probably search Dark Contract with the Swamp, which is the fusion spell. It's like a miracle fusion, so you need to use cards on your field. Oh, or in your hand. If you use them in the graveyard, you banish them. I'm playing 2 Gates of Dark World, because there are plenty of monsters that are negligible in your graveyard, and you can banish them and discard cards that are more useful in your graveyard just to draw and move through the deck faster. And a problem that I find when I'm playing DDDs and all the variants I've been testing is that I run out of Darks, the Oracle King Darks, right away. And you kind of can't do anything after that. So I like DDD Human Resources. Should it come up not super early, like a little bit after you've used all of your Darks, yeah, I find it's perfect. You shuffle them back into the deck, and you can proceed to play the game. Matter of fact, it's another reason why I like Trance Archfiend. You can actually use Trance Archfiend to put one of those back in the extra deck. That way, you continue to make plays with them. Playing 1 copy of Dark Contract with the Witch, which makes all your monsters really hard to kill. Early in the game, they may not know what you're playing if you start with a Trance Archfiend, and then he could just boost himself to 2500 with this card. So all the monsters in the deck get a bonus from this card. Also, I found you run out of you draw into extra copies of Dark Contract at the Gate, and it's a good way to use them because there's nothing else to do with them really. The extra deck, playing 1. Oh god, reading this name is crazy. Wave Oblivion King Caesar Ragnarok. Probably might need more. I haven't played enough test games to determine whether it's worth playing more or not, but this is the one that lets you get by like non-targeting issues. He deals a ton of damage. He can let you pick up Dark Contracts, so if you're going to kill yourself, you can pick this up. Pretty safe thing to do. When you declare battle, you equip one of your opponent's monsters to him, as long as they have another one, and a replay trigger, so you can still attack. All right, got 3 DDD Oracle King to Arc, which is the one that keeps you alive and is the easiest one to summon. Play 1 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, and that's because we'll get to that in a second. Play 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon, which I'll get to in 1 second. The Xyz are what matter here. I'm playing 1 Duodong King Kali Yuga, because you can make him in this deck, and I like him. I don't really have much. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't played the deck much, so I don't have much insight into DDDs. But I have experimented with a bunch of ideas. 1 Hope Harbinger, and then this is why we play the other 2 Odd Eyes monsters. You can make Absolute Dragon really easily, and if Absolute Dragon dies, you can special summon from your extra deck an Odd Eyes monster. So you can summon Meteor Burst or Vortex Dragon. Now, I actually play this in my Infernoid deck, but there are no Pendulum monsters in there, so I actually can't utilize the negation effect of Odd Eyes Vortex, so I don't play Vortex in there. But in this one, you do have Pendulum monsters, and they do wind up getting stuck in the extra deck, especially your Savant Keplers, which putting them back in the deck is good for you. So I think Odd Eyes Absolute into Vortex is a very good play. Playing 1 Big Eye, 1 Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief. I find that often, if you make a Ghost Trick monster, someone will do something to it, like screw with its attack or something, and then you can just like go over it with this. That's pretty much all I use it for. I'm sure the space can be better utilized. I play one Alucard. Alucard can pop set cards. One of the games I played, I got hit with Gozen Match when I was trying to go into Dante. I couldn't use it. I play one Levier. You know, just like some old school Dark World plays. You can unbanish things that you need. I have one Dante. Uh, Dante can let you mill 3, and since you can mill 3, you might hit a Fiendish Rhino Warrior or a Necro Slime, which is always good. And Doulahan, one Doulahan, and Doulahan is here just to prevent you from getting stuck with a bunch of Keplers on board. You can make use of them, or if you have a Kepler on board, you can sub it out for you can just normal summon a Necro Slime and Xyz into something that's somewhat useful. All right, next side deck. I just put this together. I kind of copied DDD Dave, whose videos you can see on Team Samurai X1's channel. Just because I really haven't been experimenting much, but I like to put out things early because the earlier ideas make it to the community, the sooner someone can break it in or break the idea or find some value in it. So I wanted to put this out earlier rather than later. 3 Ghost Reapers because it does play a Dante, so you do have an extra plus there. 2 Maxis if it's necessary. 3 System Downs for Cosmo. Twin Twister. One more. Never hurts. 3 Spell Shattering Arrows because you're not playing too many pendulum cards, but it's nice to be able to get the pendulum deck really easily, and Spell Shattering deals with that very well. Play 1 Vanity's Emptiness in the side, just because if you find the deck speed you're playing against is too strong for you, you can play this and put in Dark Contract with Errors, so you can disable it on your turn, so you can make plays. Same idea with Anti-Spell Fragrance. So I only like running Floodgates at 1, and I find these are the important ones for this matchup. So please leave your comments below, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more interesting ideas. I try not to post anything that everybody else has already posted, so if you want to see more stuff like this, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you came here from Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Amino, you could leave me comments there as well. My username on there is Benji if anyone wants to go see some of my old articles. I'll also link that down below in this description box. This is a TCG legal deck, and that's what I've been trying to do, make the best TCG legal DDD deck possible with cards that I'm willing to play. Anyways, thank you very much.